The Maya were not great sailors. In the Yucatan, most of the towns they created were built inland. Covering a huge area, the site of Balam didn't give up its secrets until the middle of the 1990s. Arturo Castaneda is well acquainted with the history of the site.
It was the last, one of the last cities founded in the peninsula of Yucatan. It's considered as important as Chichen Itza in their times. Now the highlights to this place is that we now know already the name to this archaeological site. Probably is Talol. According to the experts, the translation of the correct Mayan symbols, which says the Mayan name of this city, is Talol. Balam is the name given by the archaeologists when they discovered, which means in Mayan language, a black jaguar.
Some buildings are in a remarkable state of preservation. Some of the details of the pyramid had been covered with sand to protect them from vandalism. Uxmal is a small town which still bears a Maya name. The area has always been inhabited, even after the Spanish landed in the region. The Maya had no animals to use for power or transport. The Spanish introduced the horse into America. Mario Alvarez keeps up a family tradition.
La tradición de las carreras de caballito es la tradición de Yucatán. Era el transporte del pueblo y ahorita le damos más servicio al turismo con estas carreras que tenemos aquí en Uxmal. Exactamente tenemos 27 carreras, 8 caballitos para servir al turismo.
We have exactly 27 of these carriages with their horses to take tourists around. My carriage is a family heirloom from my parents, from my grandparents. It's 80 years old and I've been driving it every day for 30 years.
You see the color yellow everywhere in the town. It reproduces the color of a Franciscan monastery. In the middle of the 16th century, the influence of the Franciscans was expanding.
The Franciscan friars introduced the Catholicism in this place. So little by little, this was considered the capital of the Catholicism right here in Yucatan, in old Mexico.
To the detriment of their own culture, the native populations were for a long time dominated by the Catholic Church. Pope John Paul II paid a tribute to them when he celebrated a mass at Uxmal. The town was built directly on the Maya monuments as if it were meant to crush them. But this didn't take account of the size, number, and volume of the structures. 5 centuries after the arrival of the Spanish, the edifices of the Maya still look down on the town. No Spanish town was built on the site of Uxmal. The monuments are made up of perfectly cut blocks. It has all been restored, but the site was better preserved than others. Uxmal is also different from the rest. The lower part of the monuments is not decorated, unlike the upper parts, which in general are lavishly embellished. The highest parts were in fact reserved for the priests and for worshipping the gods. The Spanish used to replace the Maya name of a building with a new name. Thus, a building which they thought was a convent was rechristened Quadrangle of the Nuns. In fact, it was a palace used by the city government. Uxmal rose to the peak of its power, then went into decline in barely 150 years, in the 9th and 10th centuries AD. At that time in Europe, Romanesque architecture was in its infancy. Was the town conquered by a rival city? Did an exceptional drought force the inhabitants to flee? We cannot be sure. Now we head north.